At Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont, we believe in spiritual living. Above all else, it is a philosophy that teaches us how to think and not what to think. We invite everyone to practice this philosophy by living in principle. We believe that God is all there is, and each person's relationship to God is a personal one. Every person, place, and thing, and all the space in between is not only an expression of God, but God itself. All love, peace, and beauty that is God exists within each person right now. Together we are all connected as one. Our faith allows us to apply this philosophy to our lives in every moment of every day. As we live in love, we see love revealed and flowing through the world around us. We act as citizens of this spiritual community at all times. This is how we think. We believe in God, we believe in ourselves, and we believe in you because we believe in spiritual living. We are the Center for Spiritual Living Beaumont.
Welcome, everybody. Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. It's so good to see all of you here in your green. Well, we have a real special day, so I'm sure glad you're here with us. Today, we're having Daniel Nahmod be our artist guest and singer. And for those of you that were here for meditation, know that I said one of his songs. I talked it for the meditation. Yeah, and he'll be singing that sometime today at the concert. But it's all about oneness and love, and his messages are so great that you're going to enjoy all of them, and just take every one of them to heart, because that's exactly what they were meant for. And today, what are we going to light this light for? Happiness, peace, love, harmony, all the good things, all the good qualities that each of us have within us. So just to know that they're there, and they're there anytime you want to use them. For those of you that are new to our church, we have a table back there with a welcome package on it, and you're sure welcome to take that and learn more about us, and we hope that you like that and come back and see us. Okay. Now let's read the vision statement. Okay, this is right up here on the board. You can all say it with me. CSLB is an inclusive and transformative community of spiritual practice. And that's what we are. Now, the first announcement is Good Grief, support group. Reverend Michael has been doing this now for a couple of months. And it's not only if you have a death in the family or an animal or whatever, but it's also for other losses, or if you just need feeling to talk about little things that bother you now, like health, like divorce, whatever it is. So please come and join it. It's a very relaxed and very non-judgmental time. It's very good, and it's from 1 to 2:30 every Thursday. So please come and join us if you have anything on your mind. And then we have a new class that's starting again. It's Change Your Thinking, Change Your Life. And this class has been rescheduled for April 20th, and that'll be from 10 to 1, and is being taught by Adrian Madden, our practitioner. And it will propel you onto your spiritual journey. The class tuition is $110, and you can check with Adrian and see if there is still available space. So that's going to start on April 20th. And then we have the Prosperity Plus 3 class that's continuing now. We've had it for 2 weeks, and we meet every Wednesday from 1:30 to 3:30. And it's Mary Morrissey's class. It's a video that she talks through, but we have this fabulous minister here that helps us understand what she's talking about, or gives us a little bit more information. It's absolutely wonderful. I think there's a few of us here that probably have taken it about 4 times, the 4 different ones, but this is the last one, Prosperity 3. So if you haven't come already, you can still come. It's just a wonderful class. Now let's see what else I have here. And today we welcome Daniel Nahmod. Today he'll be performing. You heard him, some of you heard him before with meditation, and he'll be here all day with us because after lunch we're going to have the concert. So Jack here in front has some tickets. For those of you that didn't get tickets ahead of time, they're $20 a ticket, and he'll have them right here for you, okay? And that'll be right after service. We'll go right into Carter Hall and have our dinner. It smells wonderful back there, and Ross has got the tables all dolled up, so we're going to be really doing St. Patrick's Day. Then there's a Cherry Valley Beaumont Rotary Club will be hosting a casino night this coming Friday from 5 to 9 p.m. It's at the Morongo Golf Club Canyon in Beaumont. All proceeds will be used for scholarships for the Beaumont High School students, and tickets are $50 for play money, appetizers, and non-alcoholic beverages. There will be cash bar also, and winnings will be used to bid on great door prizes and donated baskets. It's been a lot of fun. We've gone in the past, and Marcia, sitting back here, she has tickets if you would like to get a ticket for that. And then I want to tell you that on April 14th, we decided that we're going to have the boutique. Now, what I'd like you to do, I need help, but I also need you to bring your good stuff, what do you call it, slightly used, and on hangers. If you don't bring your clothes on hangers, you get to take them home, okay? Because it takes a lot of work and a lot of effort to get these things together. So please keep that in mind for the 14th. What's going to happen is we have a yard sale at Sun Lakes, and we're going to do that on Saturday. So there's a whole district of Sun Lakes has yard sales. We're going to put all the stuff out at my house on Saturday, and then on Sunday, we're going to bring it up here, and we'll put it outside like we usually do. So we need you not only to come to church and listen to the message, but bring money. You know, we want you to bring your donations, and we also want you to buy, okay? So that's good. And don't forget about the St. Patrick's Day dinner in here. And yeah, I'd just like to introduce you to Daniel again. He is just a fantastic songwriter and singer, and he's been coming to the churches in New Thought areas for a long, long time. He's been here before, and we love him. We play his music, at least out of every couple of weeks, I guess. And Adrian loves his song, One Power. Okay. Daniel's songs are recorded and performed all over the world on a weekly basis. Recent media appearances of his music include Saturday Night Live, The Voice, American Idol, the Super Bowl, and Today Show. Daniel's poetic and evocative message of peace, love, and compassion across all nations, cultures, and faith have been found overwhelmingly accepted whenever he has performed. And he has presented his spectacular music and message for nearly all of the world's major faiths. So let's welcome Daniel.
Many, that's correct. I'll tell you, you are such a gracious host. Not only for pronouncing my name correctly so many times, which you did, but you are just so lovely and so welcoming. Sincerely, thank you. I really feel it and appreciate it. And reading a lyric of mine the way you did gave me a little goosebumps, because for me the songs are about what they're about. They're about a feeling, and you were so clearly connected with the feeling that I intended. So that really meant a lot to me. So in your honor, I'll sing this song for you right now. Yeah. There's one power, invisible, and just see it everywhere and every day. One power, indescribable, and just speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth. As simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Fowler, angel's wings, or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. We speak so many languages, different clothing, different colors, different names. But different is only dangerous when we forget that in the heart we're all the same. We'll remember once we close our eyes to see that such distances were never meant to be. Call it God, call it Spirit or Jesus or Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, Hashem, or Heaven's Door. It's Muhammad, it's your mind, it's your soul, or it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth, or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, yeah. One power is what we are. It's the moment of creation. It's an everlasting peace. It's the freedom of forgiveness. It's the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. It's the sunshine on your face. It's the birthright of all nations. It's the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby. The serenity of sleep. It's the anger we abandon, for it's love that's most deep. It's one power. Oh, what we are is one. that lives forever in you and me. It's the power of the love in you and me.
So beautiful, Daniel. Thank you. Thank you. You know, it's just a short time ago that I really started listening to the words that they sing during our songs. And it makes the service so much more meaningful. You know, once you don't just mouth them or just listen to them, but when you really listen and hear the words, thank you. Thank you. Well, my name's Evonne Fowler, and I'm one of the practitioners here. And during our service, at the end of our service, over here on this side of the sanctuary, we will be available. There's a few of us here today, practitioners, for prayer, for like a 2-minute miracle. You know, just sometimes, don't leave me with anything on your mind or heart that you need to talk about. We're here to help you know that God is within us, and that's what we know. God reveals, okay? So if you need anything, just come over here. We'll find you and we'll say that little prayer with you. Okay. For invocation.
Song and then the invocation, I believe. Actually, the truth is you learn a lot about me from the song One Power. The stuff that I'm made of and the thing that I'm intending to do with my songs. I don't mean to sound pretentious, but I really am trying to do something specific with a song with One Power. And the truth is that this was a request from your sound guru. And what's the email? Not sound guru. Web guru, but sound guru too is true for sure. And the truth is that the prayer songs that I understand some that you sing sometimes too, Get Ready My Soul, and I don't know what other ones you sing, but this one, When I Pray, these songs were intended to do the same thing. I actually languaged them in such a way that as best I could, I excluded no faith that I'm aware of. I wanted no one to have to run screaming from the room. No one to be offended, no one to be bothered, everyone to be capable of praying it together. So if you're open to singing this with me, it's very similar intention as One Power, though through a sort of a different way of approaching the same question of whether we are all, in fact, yearning for and praying to and longing for and made of the same sacred love. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. Sing with me. When I pray, I feel my soul. I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right now, right where I am, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right I pray, I feel my love. I feel my love go deeper. My love go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my love go deeper. My love go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, right where I am. I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am. I pray. Once more. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray.
We're gathered here in our sacred sanctuary, our home. But our home is really in our own hearts, in our own bodies, in our own soul. That's where God is. God is in every single one of us. When I pray to God for all of us, for the glory, for the happiness, for the peace, for the love, for the harmony, all those great good qualities of God that I know are with me, in me, as me right now. And as I pray, I bless the congregation, for they're here as part of God and here to enjoy the message. I know that the words that Reverend Michael speaks will be just what needs to be said and heard, and that we'll take home a message that is meaningful to us. And I know the music that we hear just touches our heart, and that's also a message from God. And it's all faith involved, not just one. All of us are one. The different clothes, the different languages, the different thoughts, the differences, that's all differences, but we are one. I know that the words again will be what we need to hear. I thank God for us being together to share our love, our nourishment, and just our lives. And so it is. Reverend Michael's talk today is Invitation to a Miracle.
And so right here and right now, I'm making welcome the miracle of this day. I'm making welcome the presence of Ernest Holmes, and I'm making welcome the awareness, the wonderful thing when we make an invitation to the miracle of our life, the miracle of our love, the miracle of this teaching, the miracle of Daniel's music. We make that welcome. We make that miracle welcome in our life. Ernest Holmes shares in his text that something magical happens. And in this teaching, and we've spoken about it here before, we're not talking about the magic of pulling a rabbit out of a hat or hocus pocus or a carnival sideshow. We're talking about the magic of our always growing inner consciousness. And I like to see the word magic as my always growing inner consciousness. And I'm experiencing that magic, and it's the magic of miracles, and it's the magic of the miracles of this moment. Ernest Holmes had a moment at the Whittier Church where he experienced that presence of God going deeper within him. And he said in that moment, that's one of his favorite moments, and it's a moment that's on tape. We have a recording of it at the CSL archives. And he said, the veil is thin between us. And as a minister, the veil that Ernest Holmes often spoke about, and I'll share with you, we have new technology, and I think the camera has AI that can follow me wherever I go, and if not, we have Adrian on manual. And so that AI that they're talking about, that artificial intelligence, I think what always follows this is that presence of the miracle, that deepness of the miracle, that deepness of the miracle of coming to know who we are and where we're supposed to be. And what I'm feeling right here and right now, I'm supposed to be here, you're supposed to be here, we're exactly where we're supposed to be. And that presence of Ernest Holmes is here, and he says something wonderful. He says something wonderful about this teaching, and he says something wonderful about consciousness, and he says something wonderful about that presence of spirit that's right here and right here and right now. He said that between the pulpit and the pew, right here in this space, is where the magic happens. It doesn't happen because of the words of the minister. It doesn't happen because you're sitting here. It happens because of our receptivity, the willingness to invite miracles into our life, the willingness to invite the miracles of perfect health and perfect well-being and perfect joy and happiness. Music brings that to us. Spiritual message brings that to us. Making welcome brings everything to us. And yet it doesn't bring it to us. Part of the magic of today, and Daniel being here, and you're being here today, is that it came from within us. And we're learning to schedule at the center. I'm new to ministry. I'm 14 months in. Daniel was at my very first talk at Palm Springs 14 months ago. And in Daniel's presence, I always feel that presence of spirit. And we're learning to schedule and put things on a calendar a year ahead so nobody's overlapping, nobody's competing, and we get a lot of events on and get the advertising out. And yet what I'm absolutely certain about today, what I'm absolutely certain about in my soul, in the deepness of my soul, and in the depth of my soul, and the broadness of my soul, and the brightness of my soul, which is one with your soul, is that each of us today is here not because of a date on a calendar, but because of the presence of our consciousness. The presence of our consciousness, which is all-powerful, all-knowing, and everywhere present. And somewhere, before we knew we were planning this concert, Spirit brought all of this together to unfold perfectly today. Spirit invited this miracle. Spirit invited our intention, and with our intention, we set the course of our lives. And with our intentions, we open to an invitation of miracles. You know, a miracle that happened in my life this week, I lost some very important keys, a set of very important keys. And I looked everywhere for them, and I kept searching and searching, and I couldn't find them. And I told a story here a few weeks ago, and remember, the stories we tell create the lives we live, and that even means the stories that I tell on the pulpit are going to create my life the way that I'm speaking on the pulpit, so to be very conscious and very present of the magic of miracles. And not be grounded in the muck and the mire of Michael, right? Let go of that stuff. Go deeper, go beyond that. Go deeper and release that stuff. And I couldn't find the keys, and I came to Betty Ann, who's one of our core members here, and I said, Betty Ann, I've lost these really important keys. And Betty Ann said to me, well, nothing's ever lost, they're just in a safe space. I wanted sympathy. I wanted someone to buy into my mama drama trauma. And she goes into the miracle and the miraculous of this teaching that nothing is ever lost. And so Ross comes home for a 3-day mini vacation. The really important keys are lost. These really important keys are lost. And he goes, well, nothing's ever lost. Everything's exactly where it's supposed to be. And so I was looking for mama drama trauma. I was looking for sympathy, and I got none of it. And so I thought, well, I may as well let go of this, right? I may well have let go of what's going on in my mind and connect with that one mind, that spiritual mind, which is everywhere present and all-knowing. And Friday, I went to the dry cleaners and picked up my dry cleaning, and the lady was standing there with a little package and said, you didn't happen to lose some keys, did you? And I said, no, nothing is ever lost. And she looked at me like, well, you're lost right now. I don't know what you're talking about, because I don't think she's the science of my teaching. But it's when we release and let go that we make presence the welcome of miracles. And that's the power of this teaching. That's the power of our awareness. It's said that it's estimated that Jesus performed between 24 and 42 miracles. Now, everything is perception, right? Everything is perception, and I guess that's true with miracles too. I guess miracles are about our perception. As with so many things in life, everything depends on who's doing the count. Last week we spoke of 3 of those miracles, and the miracles of casting the net of our consciousness, right, further and broader. How far can you cast that net without going too far? You can never cast your net of consciousness too far because there's no near or far or in between in consciousness. There just is. There just is. So whatever is perfect for you, whatever arms throw, whatever arms reach, whatever muscles, whatever spiritual muscles, whatever mind treatment, whatever presence with that power of the magic of miracles that's within your soul, however you cast your net of consciousness is absolutely perfect. I cast my net, you cast your net, Daniel casts his net, and we bring in the exact catch, the exact consciousness, the exact awareness that's right for us in that moment. Being right here, right now. And so we talked about the magic of casting the net. We talked about the miracle of the loaves and the fishes. And we talked about the miracle of Jesus' wine. And the wine we're talking about, the miracle of Jesus' wine is W-I-N-E, where he created wine from water. It was not Jesus' wine, W-H-I-N-E. So when we come to Science of Mind, we want to be specific about our words. We want to understand our words. We want to have clarity about our words because the words we speak create the lives we live. Maya Angelou spoke of a miracle this way. She spoke of it in many ways, yeah? She spoke of it in many ways. She spoke of why does the caged bird sing? And she said the caged bird doesn't sing because it doesn't sing to be happy. It sings because it is happy. And that's his teaching. We don't enjoy a day in our life. We don't enjoy this day at the spiritual center. We don't enjoy this day with our family and friends to create anything. We spend that time with family and friends and with ourselves to be present with everything. That everything of the miracle of love and consciousness. And Maya Angelou spoke of a miracle as a day away from it all. And when I was inviting friends here today, and so many friends from 5 years ago, and I think centers I've been at, 5, 6 centers are represented. People I've known from different centers are coming together in this one center today. And that's really touching my heart. Maya Angelou spoke of a miracle as a day away from it all. And she said, every person needs to take one day away. A day in which one consciously separates the past from the future. A day in which one consciously separates jobs and employers and the workaday world. And come to learn that jobs and employers and the workaday world can exist one day without any of us. And if our egos permit us to confess, they could exist eternally in our absence. That workaday world could exist eternally if we weren't present. And yet each person deserves a day away in which no problems are confronted, no solutions are searched for. Each of us needs to withdraw from the cares that will not withdraw from us. And so, that ocean tide is coming to me. The waves come in, that wave of plenty, that ocean wave, that powerful wave, it breaks on the shore, and then it retreats, yes? And then it retreats back into itself, but it's still all that oneness of consciousness. And then it repeats. And it brings all of that power on shore, all of that power, all of its presence, all of its purpose on shore, and then it retreats. And in that retreating, it regains its power. It regains its focus. It regains its dimension. It regains its determination, perhaps. Perhaps the invitation in a miracle is partly the determination to be present with that miracle that we are. And so perhaps, too, St. Patrick's Day is a miracle in its own right. A day of timelessness, a day of enchantment, and a day of the miracle of four-leaf clovers. Now, in Science of Mind, we don't put the power of presence in anything outside of ourselves. But in her book, Irish Blessings, Jean Legrand explores the legend the lore, and the love of four-leaf clovers. How many people know what the first leaf represents? Hope. First leaf represents hope. The second leaf represents faith. And the third leaf represents love. The fourth leaf, how many people know the fourth leaf? It represents luck. And yet in Science of Mind, here's where we delve deeper. Here's where we go deeper. Here's where we see deeper. Here's where we feel deeper. We feel into the truth of our Science of Mind teaching. We feel into the principles of the Science of Mind teaching. We feel into the power and the presence of the oneness of the Science of Mind teaching, and that power and that presence of the oneness of the Science of Mind teaching is the miracle that we are, the miracle of love that we are. And so in Science of Mind, we don't believe in the luck of the Irish. We don't believe in lady luck. We don't believe in the luck of the draw, and we don't believe in the luck of a four-leaf clover. We do believe in the power of choice. We do believe that the power of choice of the words we speak can come to create the life we live. And the power of choice of the way we see the words we speak, if we can see the words we speak in a whole new way, then we can create our life in a whole new way, in a whole new day, in a whole way of being present. So if we could have the next slide. So I like doing a segment called Wordsmith, in which we come to take the words of our regular day world and change them into the wonder of the underlying, the deepness of the consciousness beyond it. And so if we come to see luck as love's underlying conscious knowing, it shifts the whole meaning of luck. It shifts it back into that miracle of the presence of love that we are. It shifts us back within ourselves. It shifts us back within ourselves where we can cast it forth out through our words and our thoughts and our presence into so many ways, into creating a world that works for everyone. You know, for the words we speak create the stories we tell, and the legend, lore, and love of the stories we tell create the life we live. Among the legend, lores, and loves of St. Patrick's Day is that St. Patrick's Day, anybody feeling it here? It's an enchanted time. A little bit of enchantment here right now. It's an enchanted time of transformation. It's an enchanted time of transformation of the seasons of our souls. Yeah, my love goes deeper, my heart goes deeper, my soul goes deeper, my presence goes deeper. The magic of miracles of the love that I am goes deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into a depth beyond anything we've known before. And Ernest Holmes says of the seasons of our soul, and if we can have the next slide. Ernest Holmes says of the seasons of our soul on page 152, paragraph 4 of the Science of Mind text, the soul is never lost. The soul is never lost. And so I wondered when I read that, if the soul is never lost, does it go anywhere? Or does it just play it safe and stay at home in its armchair of comfort, its lazy boy of familiarity, its boundaries of the known? I don't think spirit and soul play it safe. And what I've come to feel and what I've come to realize, and Daniel talks about the feeling, the power of the feeling, and the power of feeling the presence, and the power of feeling the magic of the miracles that we are. And I feel that magic, and I felt it when I was working on this talk, and I really came for clarity to myself. And what I came to feel was a clarity that soul doesn't go anywhere. Soul goes everywhere. Soul doesn't go anywhere. Soul goes everywhere, and it goes everywhere all at once as love. The season of St. Patrick's Day, the season of my soul, the season of my divine remembering, is truly a season of miracles. It's a season of miracles that takes me beyond my human forgetting. And I feel that's St. Patrick's Day. I feel that's Easter Day. I feel that's Christmas Day. I feel that's any day we take a day away from the workaday world that Maya Angelou talks about. Take a day away for ourselves. Because a day away takes us closer to ourselves. There's no getting away from ourselves, but there's being present with ourselves. And when we take a day away, from that workaday world and the way that we're told it is, and societal beliefs and societal constraints and compartmentalization of good and bad and right and wrong and enoughness and not enoughness. When we take a day away, we come to explore our divine remembering and move beyond our human forgetting. And as I move into my divine remembering, I remember that I am the winter, the spring, the summer, and the fall of the presence of miracles, the presence of the miracles of love, the presence of the miracles of love that take me to a new way of seeing, being, and becoming. That's the magic of miracles. That's the invitation of miracles. That's the presence of the miracles of love that we are, right here and right now. Right here and right now. And so the enchantment of St. Patrick's Day, perhaps, is the enchantment of our awakening. The enchantment that we're not just waking up to a cup of coffee, a cup of Joe, a cup of Java, but we're waking up to so much more. How many people remember this TV jingle from the 1950s, the 1960s, the 1970s, the 1980s, and the 1990s? So we pretty well got everybody covered here. Everybody, whatever your age, has touched into this jingle. And it was a jingle for a coffee company, and waking up to a new way of seeing and becoming, the best part of waking up. How many people remember this jingle? The best part of waking up, sing it with me. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. So if we take a look at the best part of waking up, for many it's a cup of Joe, but since it's St. Patrick's Day, let's talk about Irish coffee. Yeah? Let's take a look at Irish coffee as a day away, and let's take a look at Irish coffee as an invitation to a miracle. Right? Miracles are everywhere present. They're all powerful and they're all knowing. So let's take a look at a cup of coffee in a whole new way. I love this analogy. Let's say you're holding a cup of coffee. So imagine yourself right now holding a full cup of coffee, right? What does Starbucks say? That first sip feeling? It's about the feeling, right? It's always about the feeling. That first sip feeling, that's Starbucks. That first sip feeling of spirit. It's always about spirit. What are we feeling? Because what we're feeling will take us into our being, and our being will take us into our becoming, and our becoming will take us into that presence of miracles that we are. So imagine yourself right now, the power of imagination, right? Emmett Fox, the power of imagination. Let's hold that cup of coffee, and it's full to the brim, and you're ready for that first sip feeling. You haven't even had the first sip, and you're bringing it up for the first sip, and there isn't a lid on it, and someone comes along and bumps into you and shakes your arm. Or they grab your arm to grab your attention, and they make you spill the coffee everywhere. And somebody asks you, why did you spill the coffee? And what do we do in knee-jerk reaction? Of course, what we do in species consciousness, we don't come from presence, we come from past precedent. I spilled the coffee because somebody bumped into me. Well, in science of mind, that's the wrong answer. The answer is you spilled the coffee because there was coffee in your cup. That's the presence of miracles. Had there been tea in your cup, you would have spilled tea. Had there been soup in your cup, you would have spilled soup. If you had hot chocolate in your cup, you would have spilled the hot chocolate. Nobody spilled it for you. You were present. Who was present in the situation of the spilling, right? It's always us. Therefore, when life comes along and shakes you, which it will, whatever is inside of you will come out. It's easy to fake it until you get rattled. When everything's going great, it's easy to fake it till you make it. But the true test of this teaching is when you get rattled. And when you get rattled, do you get thrown? And if you get thrown, do you get back up again? And I think when you get thrown and you fall down, part of this teaching is how high do you bounce? I think this teaching helps us bounce higher. I think this teaching helps us bounce higher. And so when life comes along and shakes us, we have to ask ourselves, what's in my cup? What's in my cup? And whatever's inside will come out. So when life gets tough, what spills over in your life? The last time life got rough, when somebody cuts you off on the freeway, when the electric company says your check didn't get there in time, when you're on fumes on your gas tank and you're not sure you're going to make it into the station, you're rolling into the station. When something shows up in your life that shakes you, what spills out of your cup? What spills out of your cup of consciousness, that cup of consciousness that you're casting? What's in your cup? Because what's in your cup is what's going to come out. So I ask you, when you get rattled and rock and roll, do joy, gratitude, peace, and humility spilling out? Or do you get anger, bitterness, victim mentality, and quitting tendencies? Life provides us the cup. You choose how to fill it. So tonight, let's work with filling our cups with gratitude, forgiveness, joy, words of affirmation, resilience, positivity, and kindness and gentleness, and love for others. So today, let's fill our cup with the four-leaf clover consciousness of hope, faith, love, and luck. And not the luck of lady luck, but the luck of love's underlying conscious knowing. And so if we can have our next slide. Our talk theme is The Miracle Is You. It's an invitation to the miracle, and guess what we get to do with invitations? We get to open them or decline them. But if you open the invitation to a miracle, you're going to find inside that the invitation to that miracle, you're going to find the miracle is you. St. Thomas invited us to know the miracle that we are. The power of St. Patrick's Day. It's the power of the myth and the magic and the lore of St. Patrick's Day. Is to coming to awaken to the knowing that the miracle is you and me and we together as one. St. Patrick said this of the miracle is you. May the strength of the Spirit guide us. May the wisdom of Spirit instruct us. May the hand of Spirit protect us, and may the word of Spirit direct us. May Spirit be always ours this day and forevermore. There's a St. Patrick's Day blessing that goes this way. May you have warm words on a cold evening, a full moon on a dark night, and a smooth road downhill all the way to your door. And Emmett Fox addresses that door, a smooth road all the way down to your door, and here's what he says about the door. There is no love that cannot conquer anything. There is no difficulty that in love will not conquer. There is no door that enough love will not open. It makes no difference how hopeless the outlook, a sufficient realization of love will dissolve it all. Ernest Holmes writes of love as beginning where you are. And I feel that in order to know where we are, we have to know from whence we came. And so if we can have the next slide, this relates to from whence we came in our teaching, from whence we came in our heritage, from whence we came in philosophy. And we're going back to the time of Plato, and Plato was the one who began this entire philosophy of the magic of miracles, of coming to know that we are the miracle of love. And he said, know thyself. This entire teaching began centuries ago with the words, know thyself. And so Plato came up with an allegory that helped bring forth the feeling of those words. And he came up with the allegory of the cave. And in the allegory of the cave, and if you look at the slide, it describes a group of people who have lived chained to the wall of a cave. And we can see the people chained to the wall of the cave. And they've lived that way all their lives, facing a blank wall. The people watch shadows projected on the wall from objects passing in front of a fire behind them and give names to these shadows. How many of our shadows do we name? Lack and fear, discomfort and anxiety. We name our shadows, right? And so these people watch their shadows on the wall passing in front of them. The shadows are the prisoner's reality, but are not representations of the real world. The shadows represent the fragment of reality that we can normally perceive through our senses, while the objects under the sun, the brightness of the sun in the light of the sun, form the true objects that we can only perceive through reason and higher levels of awareness. Socrates explains how the philosopher and we are like a prisoner, freed from the cave, and comes to understand that the shadows on the wall are not the direct source of the images seen. A philosopher aims to understand and perceive the higher levels of reality. However, the other inmates of the cave do not even desire to leave their prison, for they know no better life. And one prisoner of all the prisoners wakes up from that miracle of the divine presence of love within himself. He becomes that miracle. He becomes that presence. He becomes that one power. And he begins to break and work away on his chain. And he breaks his chains, and he turns around, and he sees the light streaming in from the cave. And he walks into the light, and he walks out of the cave and realizes there's a whole new world of love and light and truth and power and objects and beauty and trees and nature and goodness and grandness and animals that he never knew existed. One prisoner of the many prisoners. One prisoner of the many prisoners. But he uses that miracle of the power of the love that he is. He discovers that day, and he walks into a new and better life. The legend of St. Patrick has it that when St. Patrick was 15 years old, he was kidnapped and he was put into bondage. And he spent 6 years tending the sheep of his master. And during that time, he prayed in the mountains. In a single day, he would recite over 100 prayers. While watching the sheep, he would meditate on the 3-leaf clover. And one day an angel appeared to him and gave him a 4-leaf clover, which gave him a direction to flee to freedom. He returned to Ireland, where he stood on a hill and with a wooden staff drove the serpents into the sea, banishing them forever. This is a conscious cleansing that St. Patrick experienced. We are all like St. Patrick. We are all like St. Patrick of old. We fall into the slavery of our races and our race thoughts. And as those error thoughts build and become part of our consciousness over the years, they become our taskmaster, ruling our lives, keeping us in bondage. Patrick changed his thoughts and he changed his consciousness. He turned to prayer. He went to a mountain, a high state of consciousness, a state of spiritual realization, where he came to realize the awareness of his human forgetting. He came to the awareness of his human forgetting, and he came to awaken to the oneness of his divine remembering, the divine remembering of the magic of the miracle of the love that he always was, always is, and always will be. And so if we can have our next slide. Thank you, Chuck. The magic and the power of the presence of the miracle of love that we are. Clifford Lett was a Chicago Bulls player for 1 year. He played only 1 minute in a game in 1990 against the Cleveland Cavaliers, a game in which Michael Jordan scored 69 points. Clifford scored 2 points in that game. A year of professional ball, he played 1 minute in one game, and he scored 2 points. And the miracle of love that Clifford was and became and saw was the joy of the presence and the power of that one moment, the presence of the perfection of his scoring those 2 points. It didn't matter how many points. What mattered to him was the feeling of the presence that he was in, the feeling of that one power that guided him in that perfect alignment to make it. And Clifford said many years after that, he played 1 year on the ball, bench warmed the entire year, 1 minute in one game. And he said, you know what I remember about that game? And when I share that game, it's not that I didn't make it and I was on the bench for a year and got to play 1 minute. He said, what I remember about that game, and this is that space of miracles between the pew and the pulpit that he talks about. This was a space of miracles between Clifford and Spirit and himself. This was the awakening of his forgetting his humanness and remembering his divineness. And he said, what I remember about that game and what I share about that game, I'll never forget the night Michael Jordan and I scored 71 points and won the game. Where are we stuck in our human forgettingness? And where are awakening to our human divineness? Clifford chose the words he used to tell the story of a short-lived football career. 1 minute on the field, yet in that 1 minute on the field, he came to a divine remembering of the presence of the miracle love that he was, is, and always will be. And he took that divine remembering out into the world and shared it with his family and his neighborhood and his family and his community. So Pema Chodron says this: once you create a self-satisfying storyline, your emotional entrapment within it quadruples. You know, when you get stuck in your stuff, the power of your stuff quadruples. It quadruples. It quadruples. Pema is affirming that the stories we tell create the lives we live, and the stories we hear in childhood we carry with us for all of the days of our lives. So we have here a cow. It's a pretty normal-looking cow. Actually, we put our JJ and our last puppy down a couple weeks ago, and I got this for this talk, and actually Ross and I are cuddling this cow more than you can possibly imagine. This cow is so loved up, and it looks a little bit like our guys, but the thing about this cow, it has cows that kind of look like it. It's got a yellow cow. And it's got a cow that really looks like it, right? So a cow, remember the horse of a different color in Wizard of Oz, and another cow that kind of looks like Mama Cow, right? And another cow. So this story is a cow of a different color. And so, okay, these all belong to Mama, and Mama's good with these cows, right? They all look like her cows. They all belong to the family. So we all belong together because we look alike, right? But what happens when a purple cow comes along? A purple cow that doesn't look like Mama. A purple cow who sounds more like a cat. But a purple cow, what happens when a purple cow comes along? A cow of a different color. I remember this limerick or this lyric from childhood. I've never seen it. How many people know it? I've never seen a purple cow. By a show of hands, how many people know I've never seen a purple cow? I've never seen a purple cow. I never hope to see one. But I can tell you this right now, I'd rather see than be one. Harmless, right? Sticks and stones can't break our bones, right? Right? Sticks and stones can't break our bones, right? Wrong. That little lyric and that little limerick, in its innocent way, teaches us about separation, about only belonging to the people that look like us. And if somebody's purple, we don't want to play with them. You know the thing about purple cows and purple people leaders? Is that they want to belong just like the rest of us. Brene Brown says belonging is a deep, deep human desire. A deep, deep human desire. And she says of belonging, it's not about fitting in. It's about not fitting in. The miracle of love is not about fitting in, it's about fitting together. And so all of us who are openly gay at this time in this country are living and writing the history of our movement. And you know, we are no more and no less heroic than the abolitionists of the 19th century, the freedom riders, environmentalists of the 20th century. We are ordinary people desiring to live our lives as we choose to live them and see them and be them. Our granddaughter, now our grandson, called a few years back. Ross answered the phone, and she said, my grandparents, the other set of grandparents, won't allow me to come to Christmas or Thanksgiving, and they took my brothers and sisters to Disneyland and on a cruise, and I'm not invited. I'm completely shut out because at age 14, she decided she was transgender. So she became the purple cow of that side of the family. And the miracle of love was the miracle of love that Ross presenced on that phone call. And he said, I'm 14, and I know this is the right decision for me. He's now 20, and it was the right decision for him. And Ross said, can I still come to your house for Thanksgiving? Can I still come to your house with my brothers and sisters? And Ross said, of course you can come. We love you. We love you just the way you are, exactly as you are, and we'll support you in whoever you choose to become. And so that's the miracle of the presence of love right there on a phone call. It was the presence of the principle of love of this teaching, and he practiced it in that present moment. How often do we practice the presence of the principles of this teaching in the present moment? How often does our cup spill over into the principles of this teaching, love and light and joy and beauty and co-creation and eternality? How often does that spill open when we answer the phone in the moment? Jane Goodall says this of love and of belonging and of the miracle of love. The indwelling human spirit is what makes us tackle what seems impossible, right? One power, infinite. The indwelling human spirit is what makes us tackle what seems impossible. Despite the odds, despite possible failure, it's what gives us the inner strength, the courage, and the determination to overcome personal problems, physical disability, discrimination. Joan Goodall says, never give up on hope, faith, and love. St. Patrick and St. Patrick's Day reminds us to never give up on hope, faith, and love, and maybe even a little luck. And the miracle of love that we are, the miracle of love that we are that spills out onto the world, it all depends on what we put into our cup. Our closing story is not only about what's in our cup, but also how we serve that cup to others. The story is titled, Is What Is My Coffee? And I read this story, and I will take a breath before I read this story. And I invite each of us to take a breath. I think we've stopped breathing here for a moment. So take a breath of Spirit, that invisible breath, that one power, that perfect presence that is living in, as, and through us. And so as I read this story, What is My Coffee? I'm reading in honor of Next Benedict. And the story is, What is My Coffee? And it goes like this. I visited Matthew, the owner of Lucy's flower shop, a little while back, and that's flour, F-L-O-U-R. As I nibbled on an enormous chocolate chip cookie, I began to tell him a story. A few years back, on a bitterly cold December evening, there was a visitation at a funeral home across the street from his bakery. The people bundled up in coats, scarves, and blankets were lined up around the building, waiting to hug the family of the deceased. Seemingly out of nowhere, a man showed up and began giving away hot coffee to the people outside. People entered the funeral home with coffee in their hands and whispered of a mysterious man handing out free coffee and how much they appreciated it. So I'm going to take a moment and be present with that breath of spirit right now. I looked at Matthew and said, I have a suspicion that you were that man that was handing out that coffee that night. Is that right? Matthew very humbly replied, yes, I felt so bad for them and wanted to do something, but all I could do was make coffee. So I made coffee. I responded to Matthew that he blessed so many people that night by helping them warm up and by showing there's good in the world. He added a positive note to a devastating situation that night. I paused and then I added that visitation was for my 16-year-old son. And I said to him, thank you for being so kind. That conversation has stuck in my head since then. All I could do was make coffee, so I made coffee. Some days I'm burdened with the reality that I can't do everything to help everybody. I truly do want to make a difference in people's lives and change the world. I dream big, but I can't do it all. Matthew's words came back to me recently. All I could do was make coffee, so I made coffee. I repeatedly asked myself, what is my coffee in this situation? I can't do everything, but I can do something. So I figured out how to do it, and I did it. None of us can do it all. None of us can do it all. But all of us can do something. And if we do, we can make a difference in a world. I challenge you to ask yourself often this week, what is my coffee? And then go make your coffee and serve your coffee to someone you've never, ever met before. So this week I ask ourselves, what is our coffee? And then to go and make our coffee. And remember, whatever we put in our cup is what's going to spill out into the world. So in honor of next Benedict, in honor of St. Patrick's Day, in honor of the miracle of the four-leaf clovers that we in truth are, I invite us to fill our cups with hope, faith, love. And if you so choose, I believe Ernest Holmes would give us the leeway and would be okay with our adding a little bit of luck to our cup of coffee this week. So ends our talk. Be well. Stay conscious. Namaste. And so, in the space between, there's messages come to me that we pray out at the end of our talk. And that message came from Adrian's signal. And so the prayer for today is a prayer for kindness, a prayer for love, a prayer for gratitude, a prayer for grace, a prayer for ease, a prayer for flow. The flow of that miracle of love that we each are. The faith of that miracle of love that we each are. And the goodness of that miracle of love that we each are. And to know that each of our cups is filled to overflowing with that presence, that miracle, and that oneness, and that one power of love that arises from within us and raises up, praises up, and amazes up the entirety of the world around us into a world that works for everyone with no one left behind. And so it is.
Well, as I'm listening to that beautiful talk, I'm thinking about songs. And then you landed me on this one. This is a song inspired by a phone call we received from our boy's teacher.
And Daniel, can I cut in? I forgot to do our off. I guess we'll do the song and then the offering. Okay.
Yeah. Lately I've been thinking about what motivates me to give a couple dollars to a stranger on the street, to hold the door, carry groceries, help a neighbor in need. When history repeats itself in headlines every day, solutions never big enough for problems that we face. As a man, as a dad, what difference can I make? 'Cause I know better than to think I'll be remembered for a favor or a quarter or a smile. Oh, but maybe before I return to sender, I can do one thing worthwhile. So I'm gonna try to raise a kind child. Sure would help if our boy went and got an MBA and took care of his artist mom and dad in their old age. But let's face it, Wall Street probably isn't in his DNA. But when his first grade teacher said she wanted us to know, it's Jude who always comforts any kid who sits alone, there's just so much pride my heart can take. My retirement can wait. 'Cause I know better than to think I'll be remembered for a fortune or a pension or a prize. Oh, but maybe before I return to sender, I'll have done one thing worthwhile. So I'm gonna try to raise a kind child. I don't want him to think the world is his to save. It's too much pressure anyway, it can't be done. I don't want him to think he has to be a saint, 'cause the truth is saints don't have any fun. Mostly I just hope, my boy, you'll come to understand. No 401k or GPA can make a happy man. It's having roots, doing good, helping out where you can. So put down roots, do some good, take somebody's hand. And you'll know better than most what really matters, what makes living this life worthwhile. And there may come a day your own kids will remember how their granddad used to say with a smile that he raised. We raised a kind child.
Time for our conscious giving, and I invite us to take a moment and think of Maya Angelou, who invited us to take a day away from the workaday world, and to Daniel, who invites us to share a smile every day in the world. And so I invite us to share from that smile in our hearts and that warmth in our soul and that presence of love that we are, not only your gift of presence today, which we so greatly appreciate, but also If you'll say with me, our giving reading, I give and receive freely and generously with an open heart and an open mind. The universe responds to me in kind. I know that my beloved community is richly blessed, and so it is. And you can text to give 951-420-6909 or cslbeaumont.org, and if the ushers will come forth. And we are so grateful for your presence. We are so grateful for your financial gifts, and we are so grateful for this center growing in so many, many ways.
All right, I signed up for singing one more song, if that's all right with you, during this offering. Thank you for having me. It's nice to be here. And I'm looking forward to singing some more songs. What do we have it scheduled? 12 to 1 for a concert? So super easy, no intermission, just a lot of songs, unless I start talking, and then it's hard for me to stop. And my friends Mike and Jeannie are here. They've been watching on my Facebook shows quite a lot and been incredibly supportive. So I just want to acknowledge that you're here and thank you for coming. I had a little exciting little moment this week that I'm going to sing a song your talk also summoned. I'm going to do this thing that's a couple of half songs together, but the song. There's a song called "Everything New." I don't know if you've ever heard it, but I had a little moment that I'm excited about. I'm just going to share with you and then move on. And that is that I grew up in Chicago listening to WFMT, which is a classical station most of the week, but on Saturday nights plays folk music. My dad is a big folk music fan. Steve Goodman and the Limelighters and the Weavers, and I don't know if you know any of these people. But for him, it was always on every Saturday night. This show called the Midnight Special, and this week I found out that the DJ, the producer of that show, is going to put my song in the Midnight Special, and I can actually hear my dad saying that in a quarter will get you a gumball. You ever heard that? Have you ever heard that phrase? It's not like most things. I once talked to somebody who had just been on Oprah with a best-selling book. I worked with this wonderful, I'll actually name her, a wonderful woman named Maria Nemeth. She's a really, really talented lady. And she was on Oprah, and then I did a conference with her like a few days later, and I said, so what was it like? I mean, what you been doing since the broadcast? And she said, well, I went back to work the next morning. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess you would have to, wouldn't you? It's not like... and most things are like that in life. So the really nice thing, though, is it was the soundtrack of my home. And for my parents, if they're still awake when she plays my song, I know what it's going to mean to them. They're not overly sentimental people, but it's going to mean a lot to them when the woman, especially if she pronounces my name right, which is unlikely but possible. She did ask how to pronounce my name, so. And in case you're wondering, by the way, I am 3/4 Polish, Jewish Holocaust surviving family. I'll sing a little bit more about that this afternoon and talk a little bit about it. But 1/4 of me is my grandfather. My dad's dad left Syria when he was a little boy. We don't know any of the circumstances. We're told he smuggled himself onto a ship as a little boy, never returned to Syria, and as I sometimes joke, took the H with him so my name could be mutilated for the rest of my life. So it's actually talk about one power, and when I pray, and this thing that I'm attempting to do with my music, again, not to sound pretentious, it's just this is something I've thought about over the years, 25 years of singing these songs. The question keeps coming up, why do I do it the way I do it, meaning just with all of me? I can never phone it in. And a part of it took me years to realize that I am Arab and Jew. Among all the other things that I am, Nahmod and Nahmod, an Arabic word and a Hebrew word from the Bible. So I'm not saying, I intend to make the world a more peaceful place. I'm not saying I'm succeeding. That's not my business. But to intend is all I've got, like you discussed today. That's my cup of coffee. This is my cup of coffee. That's it. Yeah. I'll be over there I have a little table. I have pretty things that my wife makes. She's a silversmith. She's a pretty girl too. But the things she makes, she's a self-taught silversmith, really talented, won some awards, and I'm always very proud to put out her work, even if you just want to ooh and ah. And then I have CDs. I have a USB drive. If you don't know what that is, you don't want it. But it's a little flash drive with, at this moment, 14 albums on it. It's a depressingly small object for how much effort went into that music. 14 albums, about 11 hours worth of songs at this point. And then I have individual CDs, and the last thing I'll say is also, if you want to buy an album but you don't have a CD player anymore, I have a little download card. It's cheaper than a CD, and you can put it on your phone in like 30 seconds just type a little code into the browser. So that's the end of that promotion. I won't even say it probably during the concert. That's it. That's all I want to say is what I have at that table to help support my family. And thank you for having me. And thank you guys in the back. Adrian, I forget your name also. What's the name? Chuck. These two guys are gentlemen. They were here early. They were ready for me. They were friendly and welcoming and supportive. I can feel it even in the first 10 minutes we were in the room. So I appreciate it. You guys are lucky to have him here, both these guys in your community. Yeah. Here we go. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, get ready, my soul. Everything I've ever done, everything I've ever seen, everything I've lost or won, everything I've ever dreamed has brought me here to the present moment, here to a new beginning, here, and I'm seeing light so clearly now. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Sing with me. Get ready, my soul. Diving in. I'm diving into the deepest kind of love, to the deepest kind of love, the sweetest kind of life, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Get ready to bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I'm through crying, I'm through waiting, I'm through hoping against all hope. I'm through longing for something gone that'll never return. think I finally learned to bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do. Yeah. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. And I've survived many times before. Broken hearts and slamming doors. I'll be all right. Yes, I will. Once more, just as I did back then. I'm gonna rise again, so bring it on. Everything new, everything different, everything true. I am ready for my next thing to do, yeah. Oh, I know it's gonna be everything new. I know it's gonna be everything new.
All right, so we are going to circle up. We're going to circle this sanctuary and that power and that presence of the miracle of love that we are. So if you feel like standing up, we invite you to join hands in a circle. If you're not comfortable standing, you can remain seated, or an elbow bump or a prayer. So if you're comfortable, join our circle of love. We're going to sing this service out.
And then I'll make an announcement about how we want to go into the place.
Love is my decision. It's up to me. It's up to me to give of my heart, to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start, can tell me to start. Once I decide, and once I decide to change my mind, to change my mind, God will show me how. God will show me how. Love is my decision. My decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me. It's up to me to stand on that bridge, to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision. No one else can make me forgive, can make me forgive. Once I decide, and once I decide to change my mind, to change my mind, God will show me how. God will show me how. Love is my decision. My decision, right here and now, right here and now. All right, one more time. Love is my decision. It's up to me. It's up to me to dance down that road, to dance down that road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load, can lighten my my decision right here and now.
Whoa! Woo! Whoa! So we have a corned beef and cabbage lunch set up for you. It's right through there in Carter Hall. So if you go this way for Carter Hall, and if there's something heavy on your heart that you'd like to meet with a prayer practitioner, the prayer practitioners, I invite every practitioner in the center will be over here for prayer, for 2-minute miracles. So lunch, 2-minute miracles, or both today? Whew. Thank you.
Good service.
I like your cow.